Guys, is that you will be able to research an argument, identify the strengths of said argument, identify the weaknesses of said argument, or the evidence used, and present the evidence and argument in a manner that is persuasive. So I'm going to start you guys out with the essential question of, it's Halloween theme, by the way, I'm a little late to the party here. Who is the greatest monster of all time? So we're going to go through the class today. I'm thinking probably going to break you guys into two groups and let you get it that way so it's a little less pressure, and you guys are going to try to argue who's a better monster. So my personal favorite is Dracula. I think vampires are really cool. They got a lot going for them. They never age. Their skin looks like diamonds if you watch Twilight. They can turn into bats, some of them. They pretty much only feed off blood, so for the most part they don't have to eat very often, which is pretty nifty too. And of course some downsides to the vampire is they can't be around garlic, and everyone loves garlic, so like there's no vampires in Gilroy, by the way. If you're afraid of them, go ahead. Gilroy. And then also, they one stake to the heart and you're done for. So they do have some weaknesses here. And also, I guess, living forever can also have its downsides. I mean, you can get pretty lonely if you run out of people, and also it gets kind of creepy when you've been around forever and know weird historical events. So, you guys are going to research and analyze to create an argument and present it effectively. You're going to do some research, find out some facts about monsters. You probably know some already. Maybe one of you guys will choose the werewolf, Frankenstein. It could even be a folklore monster, anything of your choice. The subject of your argument will be who's the greatest monster of all time and why. What makes them better is kind of like, if they were like to get a Royal Rumble, who's going to win this fight? Like, obviously, a werewolf gets shot by a silver bullet, he's done for, so you got to take into account like what's going to go down here. Frankenstein can't really shoot a silver bullet, so he might be all right though, if it's fighting Frankenstein. But I mean, there's more to it. We'll come to a consensus if we want at the end to find out who's the best monster. So, some terms we're going to use from previous lessons is rhetoric, replies to rhetoric, and that will be used to kind of strengthen your argument. So, one example is loaded language. Does anyone here remember what loaded language is? You can always try and be wrong if you're not afraid. So, loaded language is the use of emotions or stereotypes, emotional appeal or stereotypes in an argument through the use of language. All right, so what is that? Also, we're going to look at logos. What is logos in the use of rhetoric?
Logic.
Logic, and that's going to be the biggest one here is logic. Who logically has the best thing going for them in the argument? So I want you guys to look at some different examples of monsters throughout pop culture and history. You can be mythology. Could be just like I said, modern pop culture. You can look at things such as old stories like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or Dracula, or you can even look at, like I mentioned earlier, Twilight or Interview with the Vampire, or I mean even Alvin and the Chipmunks. I really don't mind. So whatever you guys find is best. You're going to go over ways of conducting research and presenting it as a valid argument. And so I'd like for you guys, would you guys rather do this as groups or individually? I assume groups is probably a little easier. That way it's less pressure. So. I'm going to separate you guys like Moses right here. I'm sorry about using, this is a private school, right? We can use religious representation. So we're split up. Down the middle. I just lost my job there. Alright, so you guys as a group, go ahead and do whatever you want. You guys can come to a consensus what monster you want to argue. Yeah, this half of the room, you guys don't have to work entirely as a unit. You can do like say 5 of you, 6 of you, but you're going to argue the same argument. And that way when we have a discussion later, I got at least a couple of people to help me out here. And same goes for you guys. So go ahead and work amongst yourselves, figure out who you want to go with.
Walk amongst yourselves.
I don't know what to do about the fact that I'm recording.
To clarify who's doing what at some point to make sure we're not doing the same monster.
I'm going to just not participate and just videotape. Okay? Just letting you know. I'm not going to participate. I'm just going to video you.
We're supposed to...
I feel awkward like having a... I said I feel like awkward having a conversation with everybody and like videotaping.
Oh yeah, you're good.
So you just got to go around.
I got pretend being guided practice right now.
Yes.
Okay, but why do you think werewolves are better?
If you guys have more than 2 okay, I know you're going to be here.
Yeah, because one of the ways to stop that is by saying the enchantment, and I doubt anybody knows the enchantment.
Nobody knows.
Nobody, so you can't stop that.
I
So
mummy I'm thinking about is like sit and walk like.
You didn't see the movie?
I can like walk backwards.
Somebody got the
They
cool.
had to know Egyptian.
Look, just like the movies, just like the monster in the bed. That's all.
Raise your hand if you know ancient
I was new
Egyptian.
I think some vampires might know ancient Egyptian if you think about
What
it.
about Freddy Krueger?
Vampires were there.
Some of them. They live long enough. They were vampires.
Dude, I don't know why none of y'all have like decided on the Kraken.
And avoid the sun.
Hello. The Kraken is nuts. So that shit took down Zeus. That's all I'm saying.
The Loch Ness monster? Egyptian.
Yeah. No, I said the Kraken, but I'm not involved.
I didn't think of Godzilla.
That's a good one.
You
You guys can do multiples, I'm thinking, because there's a lot here.
I think
want to do
Godzilla.
Godzilla, we go King
Freddy
Kong.
Krueger because he haunts your dreams.
What would be the downside of
King
Godzilla?
Kong versus
I think Freddy Krueger because he haunts your dreams.
Godzilla.
I see a lot of benefits to being Godzilla. I don't really know what your problem would be.
I mean, you
though.
can't really hide anywhere because you're like so tall.
Why would you want to hide?
But I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If you're a big creature, you can hide and everyone's gonna be trying to kill you.
Jason Voorhees?
Yeah, but you can like hide in the
Low
room.
peace and quiet, like sure you're big and strong, but like you're never gonna have time to relax because you're always the monster.
Yeah, but Godzilla's one of the billion movies and never died.
It's an
You
excellent
could be
point.
outsmarted
A
though.
person can be a monster.
How smart is that lizard?
Yeah, that is true. A lot.
You're big and strong if you're dumb.
And uncoordinated.
Yeah, but you don't.
You guys ever seen that book about the T-Rex with the tiny arms? And the activities he can't do? That's Godzilla right there. There's a lot of things that he can't do. No, there's a book. It has a T-Rex and he has really tiny arms and it shows all the activities he can't do. It's
Oh, like the
hilarious.
Meet the Robinsons or something?
Let me find an example of it.
Like,
I think
What about Stranger Things, the Demogorgons?
oh, now they're talking about Stranger Things.
Oh no, yeah.
Maybe not vampires, they're monsters. But he's saying like who would win in a battle,
People
right?
that have never seen
Like,
Stranger
we're
Things?
really gonna do that.
Or comedies.
Yeah, Godzilla can be so
But if you spit on like a couple cannons.
If you have an army of zombies, though, I would allow that. That's fair, because they kind of come from
Yeah, but they don't die.
Oh my god, that's big.
How do you kill somebody?
But if I people know that.
Josh. Josh, you're at like almost 8 minutes. You're at almost 8 minutes already.
Yeah, that's good. I just want 2 minutes to eat.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
Alright, guys, we're good for now. Clap once if you hear me. Clap twice if you hear me. Wow, that works really well. Alright, I've always wanted to do that. Okay, so I think we ended up with a little more monsters than we planned, which is totally fine. So just go ahead and give me some pros and cons, and then if you want to, you can go ahead and shoot down someone else's ideas as politely as possible. So I got any examples here. I heard a couple going around. What do you got for me, John?
I got Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. So what would be a benefit of Freddy Krueger in a fight against other monsters? What's Freddy Krueger?
He'll wait for them to sleep and then haunt them in their dreams. Everyone needs to sleep, right?
That's true. So what would be a con of being Freddy Krueger? Do you have any cons to being Freddy Krueger?
I guess if they're awake, that's going to be kind of a problem.
Yeah, good point, see?
Yeah, and like Freddy Krueger died in every one of his movies.
But he comes back.
He was Freddy Krueger. He kind of knows what he's talking about. Has anyone else got any problems with Freddy Krueger?
He's ugly.
Yeah, all the other monsters are just so pretty, right?
Yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah. Not everyone sleeps. That's definitely a problem. So what other monsters we got around here?
Yeah, vampires don't sleep.
We talked about Godzilla.
And what would be a pro of being Godzilla?
I mean, he's huge, so he can just stomp around and kill pretty much anything that gets in his way.
And he's never been defeated.
Now, what would be a con of being Godzilla? Anyone else got a con that anyone can give a counter argument to that?
Boring.
Yeah, he doesn't really do anything like.
He destroys New York.
Shark. Why didn't anybody pick
I agree,
Sharknado?
like I said, one of the cons is
Sharknado.
never have any rest or peace.
Sharknado.
Big, you know? Everyone sees you.
That's the problem. He stands out like a sore thumb. If there was like an army of vampires coming,
Exactly.
Godzilla is really he's probably gonna go down pretty easy. So what else do we got? Anyone else find any other monsters we could talk about real fast?
Mummies.
Mummies?
Mm-hmm.
So what was your benefit? You actually gave me some good ideas about the
Mummies, mummies are powerful. Mummies are dead already, so you can't kill them. And the only way to stop them is if you know ancient Egyptian, which no one knows ancient Egyptian. Except for like everybody in the mummy, except for one person in the mummy movie. But
Hey,
if you
I
went
know
to, like,
ancient
If you went to
Egyptian.
Georgia,
Okay.
I
or-
know the alphabet and hieroglyphics.
You went to Georgia.
I doubt anybody in Fresno knows ancient
Oh, I totally do.
Egyptian.
I speak native hieroglyphics.
Ah,
So in the Museum of Natural History, if the mummy came alive, chances are everybody in New York is out of luck, right? Like we can assume that. There's probably very few people who could keep up with that guy, except for like one scholar hidden somewhere in the basement reading books.
yes.
So what would be the cons of being the mummy though?
The mummy could die, the human could kill them. The human could actually kill their mummy.
I mean, they get their little
Yeah.
rat caught on like something when they're walking.
Are they flammable?
They
That's
trip?
the question.
Right, are they flammable?
They trip on
On
their
Why don't you
rabbit.
just nuke 'em?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Also,
I-
according to mythology, they're afraid of cats.
Yeah.
So I just
Yes.
carry a cat.
Oh,
everywhere.
hell yeah, I'm all about
I
that.
mean, I just have.
I will carry my cat everywhere if I have to.
Cat
I'm not
That brings up a
scared.
Great idea that the witch might be the best of all then, because she's got the cat. She could fly around Godzilla.
I'm
We
gonna
even
bring my cat
consider
everywhere.
that.
Plus, it would solve adoption
I'm gonna bring my
issues
cat
in
everywhere.
shelters. There's a lot of kittens that
And
need
see,
a
and
home.
there's a positive.
There we go. It's a societal outcome. I like that.
Crazy cat lady, we're good.
All right, so I'm gonna cut this argument short. As you can see, that was a little silly. Obviously, we didn't really cover anything important, but that was the point of this. The real goal here is to kind of just look at the pros and cons of an argument and the evidence you find. And that way, when you do harder research, you have that in the back of your mind. It's very easy to look what you're looking for and think of the positive in things, but you have to think of the negatives of your argument to be effective. A good presenter, a very persuasive presenter, will either address those in his argument to intentionally provide a counterclaim that will prove it wrong or prove why it is insignificant, or they will totally find a way to go around that matter altogether using bias. And so that will be our next step. We're going to do independent practice, and you guys are going to go home and write me an essay on your favorite monster, and you have 3 weeks, so we'll be okay. We'll work on it in class a little bit too. And I want you guys to go ahead and find quality arguments throughout pop culture or literature, things like that, and once again, use the pros and cons of your arguments to your advantage to try to persuade the people to see why this is the best monster. And that concludes today's lesson.
Yay.